Hi, this is B from Sorcery Soap, and I haven't been around for a while. Lots of things happening over here, but I wanted to connect with you and let you know what was going on. So, this is going to be a hodgepodge of things this for autumn and announcements and sort of an update of what's going on with us over here at Sorcery Soap. Well, the biggest announcement so far, and I'm sorry about my glasses, they're like so reflective, and I've been dancing around with this light. We're moving, and oh yeah, big announcement, we're moving again. Yeah, we haven't figured out where to settle apparently, and the universe decides that it wants to shuffle us around a bit, which, I was a little resentful for, and but I don't feel that so much anymore. Now I'm just on board. So yeah, we'll be moving shortly, and so that is a benefit to you. If you've been following Sorcery Soap, then you know. Yeah, if you've been following us for a while, then you know that we've moved a couple times. One really big move from the southwest all the way to the north of the United States, and that was a big deal, and I'm really glad we did that. We've met some amazing people up here, and some of the best friends we'll probably have our whole life. Awesome. And so we're getting, we're moving again, which is cool, and I'm grateful. But the benefit is that we're going to do a big sale so that like in the move, and in the past I've talked about this, that it seems logical that we would rather package everything up and send it to you if you could use it than us just shuffle it from one place to the other. So in order to incentivize that, we'll give a big discount. We haven't figured out what that's going to be yet, but anyway, that's what's going to happen. We're going to put a big discount up. So if there's anything, particularly heavy things, if there's anything like books, and we still have a lot of books in stock, and things that would be better off in your hands than in our hands, then we hope that will help give an invitation to purchase those things that maybe you've been sort of hesitating to do anyway. And anyway, so we have that. And soaps are coming out too, some handmade soaps. And so there's a lot of shifting going on, and in the process of all the shifting, I've sort of been reevaluating what I'm doing, and trying to figure out where my creative flow is and all these things. Anyway, which I think maybe some of you can identify with, because, creative people shift all the time, and I'm really amazed that I've been interested in soap dough for 10 years. I mean, I was interested enough in it to write 5 books and talk about it a lot. And, we have a group, which is really a great group, a good group of women and some men, and people that, whatever. I think everybody's human in there. Anyway, that support each other and encourage each other and let go of all the sort of low-minded garbage in replacement of a higher idea of supporting each other's creativity, which is really cool. And the minute that I say that, shadow eaters are going to try and get in there. That's okay. I have pretty good boundaries. Anyway, so exciting, and there's some exciting things happening only because I'm exploring some other creative avenues for myself, and I know that's going to trickle out to you all, and I don't know how that is just yet, but I really enjoy creating things and then sharing them with you, because who doesn't like excitement? Who doesn't like to be inspired just a little bit? So I'm going to talk about a lot of things today, and I'm going to get to it so that you don't just watch me talk, and which, Anyway, some of the things I wanted to show you are this. So I'm sending cards out, and I was trying to figure out ways. We send samples out, soap samples. They're little cards with some information on it, and then a little sample of the soap and the scent on it. Oh, I have a mung on my glasses. It's not cool. Anyway, so we send those out, but the thing about Sorcery soap is that I always want to be an invitation to magical thinking, of sort of enchantment and ideas, like on the same lines of Harry Potter or anything else where you just, I hate to name drop like that. I mean, that's terrible because I should stand on my own. But ideas like there are other things, the unseen, and really wonderful things in this world that aren't the most obvious and the mundane. And so I come up with new ideas, and I've gone through, a myriad of things in order to put gifts into each order. And I spend an inordinate amount of time creating gifts for you. And that takes me away from doing a bunch of other things, which is fine because it's my passion. I whatever, that's a silly word, but it's my intention to create a moment of inspiration. And I just think that's the most valuable thing in all the things that I do. If I see somebody who's doing something, I don't really want to copy them, but I really want to grab onto the inspiration. And, I want to feel excited to get up in the morning, and I want to feel excited to go to my workbench and start on something. And I think it's not a place that I can live. It's not a place that I can stay in all the time. And the grown-up version of me realizes that, and so I employ discipline often. Even if I don't want to do my job, I get up and I do my work, right? But who doesn't want to be excited? But then, birthdays are only once a year, so you only get to be super excited once in a while, which is cool. I mean, that I'm okay with that. And chasing the excitement all the time is probably not healthy in my world. However, if you order something from Sorcery Soap and it shows up and it surprises you with a little moment of excitement or inspiration or encouragement, that's valuable to me, especially the surprise part of it. So anyway, so these are some of the things that I'm doing. Let me show you, and then we'll get to it. So like this, and then on the back, it has this. So you can re-gift these if you'd like. This one says, sometimes angels are ordinary beings. And then there's this, which Hocus Pocus Crafts is a new version or another avenue for Sorcery Soap, because Sorcery Soap doesn't really identify the new movement. And it's all up in flux right now, so I don't know which way we're going to go, but I wanted to be able to signify that this is from Sorcery Soap, but it's not exactly Sorcery Soap anymore, because I'm hoping to go into a little bit more like this. Now, this is not my company. I ordered these, but I created it, and it says, "Not all witches live in Salem." And my MO, my basic idea of life, of creating things, is I create things for my enjoyment, and if I find them useful or helpful to someone else, and then I share them. And I figure the chances are that they're going to be useful or helpful to at least one other person. And that's how I started this whole thing. Anyway, so there's that. And this is from Stamping Bella. I just painted this, but I've collected her stamps for a long time, and I just think they're delightful. And so I really love painting them. And so there's a card. And this guy I'm so excited by. It says it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus. So that's the new watercolors that I'm working with, which I'm really happy with. And this cardstock I got from a local printer, and the woman that works over there, she's quite lovely, and she helps me and encourages me and sort of points me in the right direction. So to see, and I'm experimenting. I'm not a watercolorist, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm inspired, and so I continue down this path, this bizarre path, and so I have some scarecrows coming out, and then I have these witches that I've been using, and there you go. Anyway, you get the general idea, you get the general impression. You know, there's a variety of things I'm testing out, and then if they help you, more's the better. So you don't hear me just rambling. I want to talk about soap dough too, and then we're going to get to doing some actual soap dough works. So I made some soap dough a while ago, and it was, I used fragrance with it. It is my nemesis, I have to say. Fragrance oils behave in soap dough, and I don't know if other people understand. I'm sure you do. Maybe you just don't talk about it, and we haven't entered in a conversation about it. Other people observe this same phenomenon, which is that fragrance oil affects soap dough in a way that is very tricky, because fragrance oils aren't all the same. And I make so much soap dough and offer it and go through so many batches, thousands of pounds probably so far. And so we test every single batch that we make and to see of the quality of it. And I want it not sticky. That's the very beginning. I want it not sticky. I want it a little firm. I want it smooth without completely lump free. And you can tell when somebody's working with lumpy soap dough because it comes through their designs. You can't get it smooth. I want it a pleasure. I want it a useful tool too. So I made this fragrant, I scented this, and then it was rather sticky and when I first did it. And it could be down to, you know, a variety of things on my end of it, but I'm sort of beyond that saying it's my fault. But here's the thing, like, okay, fragrance oil is legitimately an oil, even though it has other chemicals in it. Anything that you add to soap dough is such a delicate balance. Like, I find it a delicate balance that you have to accommodate for that. So you either have to take out the amount of fragrance oil in the oils that you put in order to accommodate for that. And then, you know, it gets tricky, or just risk it and then get sticky soap dough and put a lot of cornstarch into it, and then there is another whole issue there. So anyway, so I made this months ago, and it's just sticky, and I like the scent. I don't even remember the scent, which is like too bad for me because I didn't write it down. Now I don't remember. I might have it in my notes. That's what I get for not writing stuff down. But anyway, so I'm still going to make things today with this because I need a fragrance oil, a fragranced soap for this project that I'm going to show you I'm working on. So this might not be sticky to other people, but to me it's sticky because I have other soap doughs that are even less. So I don't know if you can see. It's not too terrible, but it's pretty soft, and I'm not super happy with it. Anyway, I talk about these things so that you can learn about something. So I'm not talking specifically to a topic, and then you can learn along the way by seeing examples of what I'm doing mostly. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do today is I have another video where I showed you how to make these guys. I think I do. Yikes, maybe I didn't even make that video. Oh, I better check. Anyway, these little gingerbreads, which I make I generally make them once a year. And then I'm going to put them on this so that they're scented. But I have to go through my notes to figure out what scent it is. Otherwise, what's the point? So I just wanted to jump on here and explain some of the stuff that's going on with Sorcery soap. I mean, there's some constants that we always keep, which is, we have the group and the website, and we continue to post and offer things. I haven't come up with any new soap stamps in a while, and I'm not sure why. We just have so many, and I thought, I hadn't really been inspired, and if I'm not inspired, then I can't really pass on inspiration. So the last 6 months or 8 months for me have been sort of difficult. Changes, just like going through changes of a variety of spiritual kinds and creative kinds, and struggling to find my own unique expression, I guess, or the thing, or whatever. And maybe I just got burnt out on soap dough for a bit, but I'm back at it, and I'm excited by the move, and I hope that we're moving into a 100-year-old house, which I'm very excited by. And one of the things that's kept me going is the group, the Facebook group. And I wish it wasn't on Facebook, because I get censored quite a bit. I don't really even say anything too controversial, but I get this shadow banning thing where I can't post pictures or I can't say anything. And so, even when I'm quiet in there, it's not always because I want to be quiet. And sometimes it's because I got punished and I have to sit in the corner for a bit. So that's sad. And the other thing is that I'm not really sure why. I think it's because, I don't even know how to say this, but I think it's because I don't toe the party line, whatever the party line is for the day, and I don't talk nonsense. So I can't always, I find it really difficult to talk in any regard that might be a little permanent. So with that said, again, yeah, self-censoring is paramount, and I don't know what to talk. I don't know how to say that. So I just stick to talking about creativity. And when I've gotten really upset by the landscape of our world, it squishes your creativity into this little container, and it's only for you. So maybe that's what's been going on with me, is that I've needed to sort of pull back and just do things for me. And I see other people, I see lots of other people, and they seem to just carry on and keep posting and doing all these things. But I feel this sort of underlying anxiety. I feel this underlying anger almost, and it pushes me away, and I didn't want to do that to you. And so I figure being quiet is better than sharing that particular part. And anyway, hopefully we're going to work it out. I think the move is going to be really helpful. And I think not all change is bad. Some changes are pretty good. And I'm excited. And if you've gotten a card, I'd like to send some more cards out, not to people, just to people that order, but just random things, and if you've gotten a card from me, leave a comment or just let me know what you think about it. And not because I need encouragement, or not because I want a pat on the back, solely because I want to see how the cards are landing in the world. And it sort of feels like I send them out into a vacuum, and it is tricky, because there's every little thing in the world right now that will draw and try to pull your ego to the surface instead of your greater soul, your greater spirit. And that's the other thing that's been really difficult. When I first started with Sorcery Soap, one of the things I did, what I thought was okay, so I had a business a long time ago. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it doesn't matter. But I couldn't figure out, we didn't have any money. We didn't take a loan. We didn't ask anybody for help. We just figured, I read a book one time that said, start with what you have where you're at. And so one of the skills that we did, we were tradesmen. And so we started, and, we just wanted the thing to grow legs. And so whenever it earned money, instead of taking it for ourselves, we poured it back into the business. And everybody that's in, that writes business proposals and has business degrees will tell you never to do that. And I've had pretty good success doing that idea very, very much. And that's what parents do to their kids, So I figured I'm going to grow this thing. This is my creative endeavor, and I wanted to stand on its own. I want it to grow up. So one of the things I did was I went through the phone book. Phone books. But I went through the phone book, and anybody that could use our services, I wrote them a letter, a personal letter. And I explained who we were. Now I had, part of it was a copy and paste bulk thing, but I used every bit of writing skill I had to make it, I hand addressed it to the person. I went through and I figured out who it was that I should be writing to, and I hand addressed it to them. And then I put this letter in and I signed it, and I sent 25 out a week for months until I finished the phone book. And people, I didn't get immediate results from that because I thought a couple well-placed letters, a couple good customers is all I need. I don't need thousands. I just need a couple really, as a matter of fact, I couldn't have handled thousands. I just needed a couple letters. And so to land with the right people and to give us a try. And those people, some of those people, so I sent out hundreds of letters, I don't even know, but they held on to those letters for years and mentioned them to me later on. And so that's, you only get a return of like maybe 1%, but there was a handful of people that commented on that and held on to those and trusted us and used us in the future. And I felt like that was from my soul. That was a genuine thing that I wanted to reach out to other people in my community and let them know that I was around, and here's my experience and here's what I've done. And even though I'm new to the area, I had been in the field for 14 years. So anyway, it worked. It really worked. And so I took that lesson with me into Sorcery Soap. And so in the beginning, I started doing these things called soap cookies. And I didn't even know what to call them. I just thought, no, they look like soap cookies. And I didn't see a whole bunch of people talking about it. As a matter of fact, I didn't really see that. Just because I don't see it doesn't mean that it isn't there. It just means I didn't see it. And so I just figured, I search around, and this is before, Google was super sensitive and, or censored, but, and before all the search engines had limitations on them and all those kind of things. So I really did look, and I used different search engines so that I don't just go down one rabbit hole and figure out, oh, well, they said, so it must be true. So I went to a whole bunch of different places. And I couldn't find anybody that was doing these things like, I didn't know, like I said, I was trying to figure out what the actual name was. And nobody seemed to know because soap dough wasn't a really big deal. So I called them soap cookies. But in the process of calling them soap cookies, I needed to educate other people because I figured if I don't know, then other people don't know. And I didn't do this all intentionally. This was sort of organic in the way it moved. So I was in a soap group, and I'd asked some people if they would be willing to test these out for me and fill out a questionnaire, and I'd be happy to send them to them. So I'd send them a couple of these different shapes and different sizes just to use them and see if they work for them or what they felt about them or if they liked them or whatever. I think I got 165 people that responded, and I sent those out, and that was quite costly, but I figured it was a better cost to send them actual product with actual people that were actually interested than to gamble with some of these search engines with ads, because that just seemed like a super big risk. Anyway, so I sent the soap cookies out. I made a lot of contacts, which was really good. Not everybody. I think I got like 14% return on that. Like, people actually filled out the questionnaires, and I bugged them and asked them and everything, and they filled it out and returned it to me. But what they returned was so valuable. It gave me feedback. It gave me insight to the use of it. It gave me ideas of how to market it and how to use it in the world. And it helped guide everything that I was doing. So that was super helpful. So when I do things, I pick a couple people and I ask them if they want to use it for me for free, and I give them products. And then, I pick people periodically that I think could use a little bit of encouragement, like in the physical form, where I send them a product and try to help them, or I see that they need something and that maybe they, can't afford it at the moment, And I think, you know, I see their art and I go, oh, if they had this one thing that would really be helpful, so I send it to them or whatever. So anyway, there's the story of that, and I don't know, you know, where that's all going or necessarily what I'm doing or I'm about. Maybe I'll see if I can get somebody to help me manufacture rubber stamps, because, you know, a lot of people in the soap world are multi-level crafters. You know, they do a variety of different things, and you know, we all have some reason to exist, or we create the reason, and I guess that's what I'm doing, is creating the reason. So anyway, let's get on with some of this work. Maybe I'll make this in 2 parts because this seems to be getting pretty long. I didn't know I had so much to say, and I'll double check to make sure I have the little gingerbread guys here. So if I don't have that, then guess what my work is today? I get to make a video of how to make these little gingerbread guys. You want to know something really weird? I can't remember that I even brought this up, and I don't think it's here. But these, okay, so these little gingerbread guys have a little cookie cutter. Now, if somebody knows where these cookie cutters are, I don't remember. I spent a couple hours looking for these one day. I could not find them. And I think I got them at Hobby Lobby, but I can't seem to find them again. And I would really like, you know, a backup, and I would also like to share these with you all. If somebody knows where they're little metal cookie cutters. I don't have one here. And the thing about them is like that some of them they show the gingerbread guy, but they have this little kick up right here, which I don't like, or they have a little bend in the leg, which I don't like. And you can see how little they are. If you run across one of these guys and you see it, would you please message me and let me know where you found it? Because I'm trying to, you know, let's see, you can see, yeah, there's little, let me see, I just don't have anything. Well, that's what you get for moving. Anyway, so let's get on with it.